On the Late IHP Show, we get to talk about how relationships are important in our lovely 5D mystic plane, to remember how to stay patient with the one focused and the blinded, and the ones who insult those of us who are mystics, because they are the ones who think they know everything. But we leave that alone. It's not important. What's important right now is it's a beautiful moment in time. It's the 11:10. Yes, it should be the 10th when I'm publishing it in some places. So we almost have our 11:11, which means double expansion. And on that note, do you know how your elimination process is? How do you sleep? That is a very important element to you. And how can your intention become stronger than if you have dysfunctional patterns? And that is because there are addictive behaviors, and for all of them, it is a maladaptive response, a safety behavior response, soothing, stressful response, so on and so forth, to unresolved trauma. So it's maladaptive because it doesn't bring you a bonus in life. It might bring you a physical desire to consume something that goes beyond your capacity to control it, and in defiance of all rules. I'm reading from my notes. Addictive relationship with anything and anyone. Okay, so addictions are things that you crave and you lead yourself towards, and they're not going to bring anything to you. The dysfunctional pattern and your interest in moving beyond it is what will make a difference. And on that note, knowing about your embodied brain, makes a difference. So somatic and trauma-informed experts share how rewiring your attachment system requires your effort, and that's why therapy is very important. And if you notice, I made my first Italian video, and I won't do that many. I think I'm going to try and find a translator, but this one was so important because that lovely, lovely lady, and I shared it in English too, presented those 3 modalities of therapy that can help a person to move out of their hamster wheel. And on that note, people who have taken seriously the updated psychoeducation are able to move into their lovely whole 3-year-old heart right about now with these changes, with the lunar eclipse partial and the solar eclipse. The 4D has decided, to stick to that. And as for our sciences and spirituality and the ones in the in-between, we come together and have debates, and we interact, and we get to exchange notes and thoughts. Luckily for us, with technology and the open-minded educators, we're moving more and more towards a humane and expanded consciousness society. We learn how to support people to understand the importance of communication. Okay, so with relationships, I have some cards with me here. Knowing about your your inner self is what's important. So the attachment wounds and our attachment insecurity is super, super duper important, because whenever you don't have secure attachment, to rewire means that you're going to go a little bit against your inclined idea of what your nature is. Because you didn't get that consistent contingent communication, so you didn't learn to co-regulate, you actually were not able. You have dysfunctional dysregulation, so arousal state is what you're used to being in pseudo-aliveness potentially. Okay, so once though you are with good therapists who give you the explanation, or you've done your actual good research and you find like, okay, I can see my own family pattern. I actually see every single one of it within whatever. Okay, now I know how to disengage. Addictions, same thing. So you're the one who's motivated on your own for yourself, not for a relationship, not for someone else. So this is where I'm talking right now, 5D Mystic, Functional Adult, Enlightenment Soul Age group. And it is channeled guidance and support to those who want to expand consciousness. On an intellectual note, I personally try to maintain myself, because Kali definitely wants to come up whenever I see people who I consider arrogant asshole-ish, and it's not about know-it-alls, because see, I can be a know-it-all, I can sound like a know-it-all. They actually have the audacity to make statements without having the experience, and to not have the decency to be aware of it, humanly speaking, to actually use your brain to have perspective is what it's called, which is why, to me, that's a not smart person, not even a little bit. And anytime I meet somebody who is that obtuse, they're not smart. They have no emotional intelligence, and therefore they have no intellectual intelligence, because their 3-year-old is a broken-hearted one. If they had had any wholeheartedness, then they would know I'm one human and that's another human. And out of the entirety of the respect from my heart of another human, I will not dare in my mouth speak in a way that I think I can know your experience and every one of the people's experiences. This sounds very much, in my book, no matter what number of certificates you have, arrogance, and also not true, because there's one truth which always wins over all. You don't know everything, and no matter how many books you may try to present to me, I know you won't ever know everything, because I can't know everything. None of us can. That's the infinite number of pieces of information. So the only people want to believe in a group of are the same ones who need it. The ones who defy it or go all against it to say, those are all extremes. The middle ground says, we know some things, we don't know all things. And so again, when it comes to yourself, you can know, how do I want to be in life? What do I want to contribute to myself? What do I want to contribute to the world? Finding meaning and purpose within the land of Shiva. No thingness. It's no big deal. Knowing that we are consistently in the absence of the time and space. So this thing of where we cycle, we're hitting another one of those. Okay, so this is what I noticed, which is why I wanted to do a special IHP. I think I'm going to title it the Late IHP Show Special for Mystics, because we're getting into woo-woo land here. But I noticed that it's a bit like time has gone to the past, like we've returned. I know it sounds silly because we haven't, but we've returned to a past. What I believe is better to share is that we are finally beginning to see a new that has adapted to the different. And so we have a clear-cut, organized number of, it's really just 3 groups, but you can put the other 2 together because the other 2 are limited consciousness. So they stay within the duality plane, not accepting the middle ground. The middle ground is knowing that we have different opinions, we have different ways of arriving at our conclusions, we have subjective experiences. So we will continue to have people who believe in spirituality, others sciences, others both. And they bring spirituality, spiritual, and the human elements, the sciences together. The metaphysics, esotericism in the middle, we don't use the stories as truths. We understand that the stories explain to us clairs, they explain to us crystals, they can explain to us when we have channeling, like neuroscience and, for example, existential physics of Sabine or the religious self. So Sabine is physicist, religious self is neuroscience, Patrick McNamara. Ignore the one focus, no, take the data, they have valuable data, ignore that they taint with their subjective opinion, and try to be polite, because those who are basically arrogant don't need you to be rude. They have an insecure ego. The reason why a person will feel superior is because they have low self-esteem and their parameters are actually quite, what's the word? Yeah, I'm just going to leave it alone. But on that note, the people who are serious about growing up, they're the ones who are enjoying the newness, and they're also enjoying to know that they can interact and grow relationships with those who are securely attached. And so as 5D collective comes together, mystics don't cancel their oversoul, we embrace our oversoul, we stick it through, and we know that even if we can clash, that doesn't mean that we are not going to come back together again. No, we always come back together again, because that's what family does. We support each other to move forward and expand consciousness. Be compassionate, be kind, tune in. Have a great day.